Another question you may all be wondering is how do I do in the dating life, social life, while living in a van? Well, actually, this summer was actually pretty decent. I met I managed to meet a couple different ladies, but two of them I brought back to the van here and, had some drinks, had some good chats, had some company, and yes, I did break in the van on this very bed. I had two separate women this summer, and so you can get it done in a small space like this. It's doable. You could, of course, you go sideways here. You can go, there's a room you can get her done. You can hold your hands here. There's a little bit of space. It's not. There's a lot of truth to the Fast and Furious movie. They say it's not what you drive, it's how you drive, and so same comes to when you're meeting people in a social life. Like, it doesn't matter really what you drive if you know how to talk to people, talk to women, or you got good game and you're a handsome man and you're funny and you take care of your body, you're looking good, you're feeling good, and you're dressing well and whatever. I'm not saying that's the only way to do it, but some women have different preferences. But if you do it like that, it doesn't matter what you drive. The women that I've met, they never judged me one bit for living in a van. So honestly, if that's something you guys are worried about, or girls, worried about what a guy's going to think of you, well, if you find someone who's open-minded and in tune and spiritual and awake and aware and stuff like that, and they understand the bigger picture and stuff like that, they'll totally be okay with it. But if it's somebody who's materialistic and hoity-toity or chachi or pretty, you know what I'm talking about. But also, I've actually had one of the women I met this summer that I've brought back to this van was actually quite wealthy, and she was wearing a lot of Chanel and a lot of, she has like 30 pairs of shoes and driving in, decent vehicle, an Acura, and that was like 60 grand and stuff like that. So it's like, you can even intrigue the upper class but it just turns out that woman was intrigued by van life and she wanted to try it on the future. So that's kind of worked in my effort. It worked for the best. So yeah, it's guys and gals, don't be worried about that. The dating life has actually gotten better for me ever since I started living in a van. But I gotta say, there is a stigma and a stereotype with living in a van, especially here in Canada, British Columbia specifically, because we have a lot of, I'm not going to say which province they're from, but we have a lot of hippies and granolas, or a lot of people with dreadlocks and excessive jewelry, and just, they're grubby, they're dirty. They're not all like that, and you guys know which province I'm talking about. And they come here in the British Columbia and they pick fruit, and some of them are just totally reckless and dirty, and they leave garbage outside their van. They throw garbage everywhere. They get drunk and puke everywhere, and just drinking and driving and doing burnouts and doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and hardcore drugs and fist fights and swearing, and we're not all like that. So those people will ruin it for the rest of us. We're just trying to have a good time and trying to enjoy life. And I've had people swear at me and yell at me for driving this van, and they say, fine, I might as well just say it. And they say, go back to Quebec, you dirty bugger, and stuff like that. It's like, come on now, I'm not from Quebec, I'm a BC boy. Like, what are you guys talking about? So it's like, there is a stigma with driving and living in a van like this, especially an older van, an 80s van, 70s van, 60s, even 90s, you know what I mean? So that's why the next machine I buy is going to be probably early 2000s, 2010, 2015, maybe something like that. Because I don't mind it at all, but it's just like when you first get into this lifestyle, it bothers you a little bit because of, I don't care what people think, honestly, but like it comes to a point where people are staring at you every time you get out of the car, every time you get out of the van. People are looking at you, you know, they're wondering what you're doing, and they're staring at you, and eyes are on you all the time, and you almost, in a sense, you almost feel like you've done something wrong, even though you're not doing anything wrong. People, you just feel like they're trying to pin something on you, or they're trying to like, oh, what's this guy gonna do now, or what's this lady gonna do now, or you know what I mean? So that's one drawback and one downside of living in an older van like this. But I don't mind it at all, like I said. So who cares what other people think, right? So, but yeah, what else can I tell you about this? Oh yeah, so I do work a full-time job, and this is actually my first year working and living in a van. Last summer I tried this out, and I was touring around you know, Vancouver, Whistler, Squamish, North Van. I love North Van. That's probably one of my favorite places to stay in a van, North Vancouver. It's amazing. The Walmart there is just so great. Like, there's a side street beside Walmart, and you can literally leave your van there for like 3 days. You don't have to move it for 3 days, and you can go downtown, you can go explore Vancouver. Like, it's amazing. I love that. And then Squamish was a great experience. The biggest van life caravan mini village was in Squamish. I'm nowhere to lie. There was like 30-40 vans every night in the summertime. Like, every night it was a party every night, you know. And it's great. Like, this van life, you can meet so many good people, like in Squamish and stuff like that. There's always people having barbecues and having drinks, and we always share food amongst each other. We're always say, hey man, or hey lady, come and sit down, or have a drink, or have a puff, or you know, stuff like that. And it's very easy to meet other van people. Like, I love it. And even like non-van people, they'll come up to you and just be inspired by what you're doing, and it's really cool. I love to intrigue and inspire people. So what do we got here? This is now they've found a way that you can put you can smudge yourself and cleanse your energy without actually burning sage, cedar, sweetgrass. It's actually all in the bottle here. It's got hyaluronic acid. It's got 24 karat gold. It's got, you know, it cleanses your energy, and it's also good for your face, you know, makes and your skin. Here, protection spray. I used to always go and put essential oils on myself, and it's kind of a nuisance because you always have to rub it and open your bottle. But this is a spray, so you can just spray it on yourself. You don't have to worry about nothing, you know. I use all natural deodorant, so I use this salt mineral crystal deodorant. It's one of the best I've found. I've tried copious amounts of natural deodorants, and some of them don't work, I'm not gonna lie, you know. What we got here? Palo Santo spray. It's great to cleanse the energy and refresh your van, you know, on a daily basis, especially if you bring other people in the van and stuff like that. But you gotta watch out who you bring in your van, right? Because it's your home. So another thing I will show you guys is one of my main self-defense items. I bought this from the Survival Shop, actually, in Kelowna. And originally, I'll tell you a crazy story. When I was in Vancouver this summer, I went to, let's just say, a rally there. Last summer, there was a hospital rally, and there was over 8,000 people, and I was there. I'm not going to say What kind of rally? I'll just show you here. This kind of rally. So when I met this group of people and this cool guy, we started drinking beers and stuff like that. You know, met this other group of people. Before you know it, went for dinner, went to the strip club, and we met this British guy at the strip club. And you know, we went out back, did a couple of rippers, stuff like that. You know what happens when you go to the strip club. I don't like to do that stuff very often. It's once in a blue moon, you know, like once a year maybe, or on New Year's or birthday or Christmas, or yeah. So I'll get back to the story here. So that guy, he pulls out this. I'll just wait till this car goes, because this thing is a replica and it looks like a real arm, even though it's not, and I don't want to pull it out. This lady's gonna call the cops, right? Here. So he goes and pulls out this rubber bullet paintball gun, and he's like, check this out. And he shoots a car mirror in the back alley and shatters the mirror completely. So what I got here is, this is a Glock replica, and I'll show you that it's not a real by pulling out the, see, CO2 cylinder. It's got the little rubber BBs there, rubber balls, but they're not small by no means. Like, here, I'll pop one out, a couple out. If you get hit by these guys, they're gonna do damage, you know what I mean? So this is basically, I've never had to use it, I've never had to pull it out or anything like that, but it's completely legal. It's not real. It's a paintball gun that shoots plastic, basically, and it's the last line of, you know, intimidation, or like, just think about it. If you're sitting and sleeping in the van here, and someone's really desperate and they're gonna break in here, smash the window, rob you, you know, you hope not to think anything worse than that, right? But steal stuff, hurt you, right? Steal your car, steal your van, right? So, and sometimes, you know, first course of action, you want to use words. Don't yell. Kill him or her with kindness. Sorry, I'm a little bit. I had a little bit of this earlier, so I'm having trouble speaking here. So, yeah. So first course of action: kill him with kindness or her with kindness. Use your polite words, kind words. Articulate very finely. You know, pull out the big words and let them know. Treat them with compassion. Let them know it's not good what you're doing, and you should please leave. If that doesn't work, you know, try and use intimidation of, like I said before, your knives or your batons or tire iron. I got a tire iron here. But if the person actually breaches your, and because this is classified as a home now, this is not a vehicle, it's a home, it's a dwelling. I live in here, so technically someone's breaking into your house. You could pull this guy out here, and a couple pops, getting hit in the face with the rubber, totally at 350 feet per second, that's totally going to immobilize them. I don't think anybody, doesn't matter how big and buff you are, I don't think you're going to take a rubber bullet, especially this close proximity. That's like nearly point blank. That's going to do some damage, so, and that'll really scare the perpetrator away. So something you'll have to think about. You know, I've haven't had any really bad encounters other than one time I was, well, a couple times. One time I was on Vancouver Island, and I was sleeping. Actually, this was in my car though. I didn't even have this van. I was sleeping in my car. I tested out before I bought the van. I slept in my 4-door sedan. It was a Kia Optima, and I had full electric seats and I fold them down. It was rough though. It hurt your back to sleep in a car. And one time I was in a residential area. It was like a nice, rich neighborhood, and you know, luckily, I'm very grateful that I have good intuition, because I was laying in bed and I just got this like overwhelming, uneasy feeling, like extreme anxiety just set in. I was like, what the heck? To the point where it made me restless, and I opened my eyes and I looked up, and there was someone approaching the car. Like, it was pitch black, like 2 o'clock in the morning, and there's someone with a hooded figure approaching my car. So it's like, oh man, turn on the headlights, start the engine, get the heck out of there. And another time, like I said, this was this year, in this van, in Walmart, in Kelowna, and it was, see, once again, I got good intuition. So I got up, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes you don't want to use your honey pot or your jug, so if it's full or whatever, you empty it out. So I went outside to take a leak, and as soon as I opened the door, this guy was riding his bike and weaving in and out of the vans, but you know, to see, because he wants to steal stuff or damage something, or you know, it's almost like the homeless people that are on the streets. They get almost jealous of us that we have vans, or I don't know what the issue is. I don't know why they bother us, but it's annoying. So anyway, I opened the door, and he's weaving in and out to the vehicle beside me, and he's like, I caught him by surprise. He didn't know what to do. He's like, oh, hey, how's it going, man? And he just took off as fast as he could. It's like, so that's something you guys got to worry about. Not worry about, but something you got to keep in the back of your mind. Like, you got to have self-defense. You got to protect yourself. You got to make sure you lock your doors all the time. Like, when you're in here, lock the doors right away. Summertime, make sure you got to be careful where you park. You don't want to be parking in any sketchy, dangerous areas and leave your windows open or anything like that. So, you know. So, but anyway, guys and gals, that's just a quick update and just a couple questions that I figured you guys would want the answers to and stuff like that. And yeah, so stay tuned till next time.